How's it going, Keith?
Good.
How you
Mo.
feeling?
I'm pretty good. How you
Feeling
doing,
good?
man?
Feeling good? You feeling powered up? You just had some Halwa, so you feel leveled up? You feel good?
I feel pretty good. It's just dessert, man. It's dessert. It's like it reminds me of gummy bears.
It's perfect dessert.
Or you know
man.
what? Gum drops. Almost like a gum drop. And it's almost like a spiced gum drop, similar to like if you had I think it was
Just put like a ton of ghee on it.
well,
Just
I
a
don't
ton
know.
of butter.
I feel like it's kind of like a gum drop. Like I think they have spiced gumdrops. I think that's the flavor I'm getting from it.
I just don't. Maybe I haven't had enough gumdrops.
I
Maybe
feel like
that's my thing.
It was the clear gumdrop that you might get in a bag of gumdrops.
So back when you were in escuela, if you were back when you were in school.
Escuela, yes. I
Escuela.
took Espanol.
Yeah.
I don't mean to brag, but I took Espanol.
Muy bueno. Okay.
Muy
I'm
bueno.
dumb. Did you ever trade lunch? Did you ever trade like snacks and stuff back in the lunchroom?
I don't seem to recall ever trading lunch with people. I think I was pretty much.
I was going to ask, like, what would you trade for a piece of halwa? Like, what would it be worth in the lunchroom market? You know?
Well, I mean, it
Would you
depends
give me
on.
Oreos for it?
Yeah, I trade Oreos for Halwa. Yeah, I think just because it's a good, mix it up. If you're going for if you want like a gumdrop texture, you want like a gummy type of texture, it's good.
I don't know. When you call it gummy or gumdrop, it just, I don't know. It just, a part of me dies.
Why? It's like got gel. It's like a gelatin type of.
I don't think
I know
gelatin.
there's no gelatin in it, but it has a gelatin consistency.
Would you trade it for like a Hot Pocket?
I mean,
If you had a nice Hot Pocket.
a nice Hot Pocket for that. I guess I would. I mean, were you eating Hot Pockets cold? Would you bring them in cold? You probably didn't mess around with Hot Pockets.
Yeah, they had pork in them.
Yeah, but they probably had plain cheese ones. I know they had cheese ones
I
without.
always thought they were like dumb. I ate school lunch.
Me too. I ate a lot of school lunch.
So like with school lunch, I have a question for you about school lunch actually, because something came up on my TikTok feed, and this one person was blaming Michelle Obama for the ruin of school lunch. Like school lunch was ruined when Michelle Obama had her health initiative across the country and she was revolutionizing school lunch. She gave us a salad.
Yeah, she
salad
really
bar.
blew the doors off of lunch by throwing a salad on there. I felt like it always had the salad. I feel like you always got the little salad. It had like a little string of carrot.
Were you in school when
Had
when that presidency was happening? Were you in high school?
I was graduated college when Obama got elected.
Really?
Yeah, I was out.
Holy shit!
I was fresh out, man. I was
forgot what our
that was like
age gap was.
that was the first no, that wasn't the first presidency I voted in, but it was the second.
A second.
That was the second president that I
I
ever voted.
I think my first vote was for Hillary. No, that was 2016. That makes no sense. I think I did get to vote for Obama once.
2012.
No, I didn't. I don't think I got a chance to.
Yeah, I don't know.
never gonna change.
All I know is she blew it. We don't need salads, and I think kids just should eat whatever the hell they want to. You want to just eat rectangular pizza for life? Do it.
So I made a comment on the video, and I was like, "School lunch was awful before too. How many of y'all were alive then?" I was like, "Because these are all kids." I'm like, these kids don't know what pre-Michelle Obama school lunch was. It was always shit, right?
Oh,
And
yeah.
the comments, apparently, I have 72 likes, but the comments were a little against me here. One person said, "I looked forward to public school lunch 4 days a week before Michelle." And I'm just like, bro, you need a hug. That's sad. Another person was like, "Me, and it was amazing. Then I started bringing my lunch nearly every day." And then one person was called Irate Observer, was in high school during the switch, and I promise you, the quality went down. Like the bar, we so low. Then it went to hell for the new lunches. People are passionate about school lunches. I got like 6 more comments about that.
I'm starting to think that you were reading that just so you could prove to the viewers mostly that you are able to read, because we've had some issues with commenters tearing you up, smoking you in the comments about your literacy.
Those dry burgers were perfection. And don't you get me started on the holy grail known as breakfast pizza.
What was on breakfast pizza? Was it
eggs?
It was eggs. I never did that.
I want to know the Somali word for eggs.
I do.
It doesn't sound like you rolled your eyes.
I didn't roll them.
Hey, I might have difficulties understanding like social cues, okay? But I get these, okay? I don't think you want to know.
Yeah.
It's called ukun. Ukun.
Ukun.
Ukun.
Nice. Ukun.
Yeah. So you put a little bit of eggs on top of pizza. It's literally just like cheese, bread, and pizza and eggs. I was gonna say pizza.
It's basically like. Are the eggs scrambled?
Yeah.
Okay.
What do you think they put omelets on top of them?
I don't know. Maybe a fried egg. I don't know. You could just drop an egg right on there and cook it.
Fried egg on pizza?
Why is that any? That might be really good. The yolk.
It's just like
you're a yolk boy.
Yolky.
You told me you like yolk.
I'm a huge yolk boy, but like, I don't know. I don't know about that one. Maybe dipping the tip on it and like sucking it down, but not like.
We're gonna get thrown off YouTube for that comment.
What do you mean? It's just we're talking eggs. We're talking eggs and pizza.
You're right. Eggs, pizza. No, I think there's the idea of eggs with cheese on pizza, like pizza crust. That's essentially just like scrambled eggs and cheese with toast. That's kind of all the same. They're just like, all right, let's just.
I remember I had that pizza. I thought it was good. I didn't think was as special, but I remember like nobody wanted to. You had to get to school earlier to have breakfast at my middle school.
Well, you know what I always wanted was the I wanted to try the Taco Bell breakfast. I wanted to try the waffle taco.
Waffle talk.
Have you ever heard of that?
Not a big Taco Bell fan due to diarrhea.
Okay, the big D. Sure.
I just can't handle that D.
Well, all I'm saying is I was enticed. I was intrigued, and it has a waffle taco. It has a nice.
Well, wait. So walk me through. Just like waffle taco in my head, I can think of 1,000 different things. So like, what are they? How is it constructed?
Well, I never tried it. I've never had it. It just it got me. It's stuck in my brain.
Like sausage, a waffle.
I
egg.
feel like it's got like a bendy like a bendy waffle, like a not fully cooked waffle. Maybe it's got a little crisp. This is my dream anyway. It's got a little crispiness on the outside, and then eggs. You got probably some kind of meat in there.
What's the Somali word for eggs?
Utuf. Ufu. Utuf.
Fufu. I'm kidding.
What is it?
Ukun.
Ukun. I knew it had some un sounds in there. But so eggs and maple syrup. I think there's got to be some maple going on because of the waffle. You know, there's probably a little butter in there.
How do you feel about your? For me, breakfast, much like a Thanksgiving meal, is all about everything mixing together. Like I want everything to mix a little.
Oh,
you know?
dude, I mean,
want the syrup and the eggs. I want the
that's all
ketchup, egg syrup.
That's all good stuff. One of the best breakfast sandwiches that I loved and I would still go there if it was in my neighborhood, but I'm pretty far away from there, so I really can't. Is Ono Cafe?
Ono?
Or Cafe Ono? I think it's Ono Cafe though.
Oh, I think I know that place.
It's on the west end of Portland, and I hope it's still open. I assume it is. They were always killing it, so I don't know why they wouldn't be, but the pandemic did some things. Anyway, they had the best breakfast sandwich. It was just like a plain bagel, griddled, and then they do egg, cheese, and then like a prosciutto, and then a little Tabasco, and a little maple syrup, and then they just smush that all together, cut it in half, boom, put it in a tin foil, and then there you go. There's your sandwich.
Wait, they cut it in half before putting it in the tinfoil?
Yeah.
They don't cut it while it's tinfoiled?
They sure don't.
Why? Why would you cut it in half and put
cut through foil?
each side? You cut through the foil.
No, you cut through paper. Probably not foil.
I thought you cut through the foil.
No, you don't cut through foil.
Why? So you basically paper mache a holder for the.
Well, I think they just cut it in half and then they just wrap it up.
Mm.
So you just get
they
it.
wrap it in the paper and then they cut it and then they put it tinfoil around it.
I don't think there's any paper. I honestly just remember it being in foil, but that's kind of splitting hairs here. The point is, it's cut in half. It's bites. It's like a good bite size. You know, you get in there, you get all the flavors.
Really, I'm just trying to get tips because I make a breakfast sandwich for my girlfriend every morning before work.
Oh my God, why don't you make
and
me
I do
one?
a tinfoil deal, and I play around with that shit. You know, sometimes put spinach on it, sometimes I just spit in it. It's just like see what happens. But
Tinfoil. That's what we need.
Tim Dillon foil.
Tinfoil.
Tim
Duffy.
Duffy foil.
Tim Duffy foil.
We need actually just more Duff.
Yeah.
Can we just get Duff right here?
I don't know if he'd fit on this couch. You two, I think it would become the Mo Tim Time podcast. Keith, you just maybe see the corner of my head or something. You guys just hanging out.
I think we'd just be vibing.
I know. I'd love that vibe. That'd be a cool vibe. But yeah, that was my jam. Sammy. That was my best. That was my favorite breakfast Sammy.
I'm a big I don't like breakfast sandwiches in the morning. More so I like just a bagel, cream cheese, and lox, dude.
Oh, lox, dude.
I love salmon.
Smoked salmon, delicious.
Really good. Can be done really badly if you have bad salmon.
Well,
or
did you know lox?
Avocado toast.
Lox? I think... Now, kill me in the comments if I'm wrong, but...
They will, too.
So...
Those salmon lovers? Oh, my God.
Well, I worked in seafood for so long, and I worked for a place that actually would smoke fish. But the thing about lox, and people say, what's the difference between lox and smoked salmon? And I think, in general, the terms are used interchangeably. But I think, honestly, the difference might be that lox aren't actually smoked. It's just cured and never smoked. So yeah, hit me in the comments if I'm wrong about that. But a lot of people, smoked salmon is just lox. People don't discern. They're just like, all right, that's it.
I like both, and I think now that I think about it more, lox is a little more softer and a little bit more. It's almost like gooey sometimes. I don't know what it is.
Yeah, because it's not. Yeah, that's from. I think the smoke.
It's a good gooey. It's good.
Yeah, it's cured. It's not. It's kind of, it cures longer than smoked salmon. Smoked salmon's like brined and then smoked.
One of the things that have changed my life is a direct result of meeting my girlfriend. Was meeting my girlfriend's mom, who hooks me up with salmon spread. And salmon spread is the truth.
Okay,
it is just.
Tell me what's in the salmon spread.
First off, it sounds gross.
No, it
it's just a concoction of salmon. Can I
guess?
Salmon.
Can I guess what's in it?
What?
Cream cheese.
I don't think there's cream cheese in it, dude. I think it's legitimately just salmon, and like maybe some fat. There's some sort of fat in there.
Gotta be
and
cream
it's just,
cheese.
It's just emulsified salmon. It's so good.
I think it's all pink,
but it's not cream cheese. It's all it's pink, but it's like grainy a little bit. And it's really pink.
A lot of salmon spreads are cream cheese based.
It doesn't taste like there's cream cheese in there. I assure you I'm going to get a packet soon. I will look, because I did have to look at the ingredients, because I thought there was bacon in there for a second, because I saw little like pink flakes.
Yeah.
And I thought it was salmon, but it also looked like it could be just like bacon spread or whatever.
Yeah.
Bacon bits. It really looked like bacon bits.
I don't think they normally. I can't recall salmon bacon being mixed together.
I looked at it.
I know.
And it's not. But I was worried for a second because it like was really smoky. But So I've tried to find things that could replace the salmon spread. I'm obsessed with the salmon spread.
Obsessed.
And I'm sorry to bore the listeners with this. It's really
No,
good.
it's not boring.
You get it from a farmer's market. And my girlfriend's mom just has a Connect, and we tried to replace it with a Market Basket brand salmon spread. Not even close. This shit is.
Oh, I mean,
it's
come on.
not even close.
You're talking about mass production versus handcrafted deliciousness.
The person behind this, I don't know who you are. You're somewhere in the Brunswick area. I love you, man. Or lady. Or however you identify. I love you. It's so good.
Yeah.
It's so good.
We're talking spreads. Dude, I've had some killer.
Name them, dude. Name drop them.
Let's name drop some. There was this amazing. It was like a smoked Gouda with like a pepper jack and mayo. I think there might have been probably some kind of bacon in there. If I had to guess, there'd probably be a little bit of chopped bacon mix in there, so it's no good for you. But
there's their own, each their own.
This stuff was unreal. It had like a kick to it. It was fatty. It was like cheesy. And you could just eat a whole tub of it, and then you would hate yourself the next day. But it was worth it at the time.
Like Dave's bread. We bought a lot of Dave's bread at one point to be healthier, and I don't like it. I don't like Dave's bread. But
shout out Dave's bread.
You know stink. A dip is good when it can make things that you don't like edible and really delicious. Like I was like, I love this friggin' Dave's bread with the salmon spread. Oh,
loaded up with salt and fat, and it's delish.
Yeah, just salt, fat. That's all you need. There's a great Netflix documentary series called Salt, Fat, Acid, Heat, which is a really good.
I've seen it.
Documentary.
Yeah,
you cook,
all about the flavors.
You a cookie boy?
I like to cook.
I do too.
I like to cook, man. I like to get in the kitchen. I like making a dough. I'll make a dough.
You a baker?
I like to bake if I can.
You bake boy?
I like to bake, man. I'll get in there. One of my favorite things to make was like I like the
you have a bread maker?
Steamed buns.
Ooh.
For like Chinese steamed
buns.
Like a bao bun.
Oh, dude, I love bao.
You
know how to make bao buns?
Yeah.
Dude, you're legit. Is it easy?
I mean, it's just you just follow a recipe. I mean, the craft of it is really in putting the filling in and making it look nice, which I'm not great at, but it still tastes good.
What filling did you make?
I did pork.
Mm-hmm.
It
pork
had
belly or something?
No, it was a pork loin. I'd sear it, and then I dice it and I mix it with soy, hoisin, ginger, scallions. Probably some sesame oil, Chinese 5-spice. That's what you put on the whole loin before you sear it, and then you finish it, and then you get all that chopped up in there. Mix that all together. It cools. Your dough's all risen, and then you just plop that in there and seal them up, and then you just steam them for I think it's 15 minutes, and then they're all done. And the other thing that's cool is it makes this recipe I had would make like a dozen of them, and so that's like 4 full meals.
Do they keep well?
Freeze them.
Oh,
you freeze them before you steam them.
Oh,
and then you just steam them an extra 5 minutes, and bam!
Just blew my mind.
I know, they're so good.
That's awesome, dude. Because that's the thing. Like, you ever buy baos and like you get with the filling, you can't. That's not refrigeratable. Like you can't have leftovers.
No,
it doesn't taste good the next day.
Right.
It gets hard. It gets gross.
So that's and the other thing about them is they take a long time to make. It's like a 2-3 hour process to do, but it's fun. It's a labor of love.
What made you take that on? What made you take it on? Is this a pandemic thing?
I did. Yeah, I mean it was, but I wasn't. For sure, because I used to get them at a couple Chinese places, and then those were all like closed or like really far away, and I just didn't feel like, doing that. So I would just look up the recipe, and bam, it just made bao time. I remember I made them for the Super Bowl. I made a bunch, just me. I was just eating baos,
Hey, your Pats lost again, right, this weekend? Or
Oh,
did
they
they?
stink. They stink. But no, so the Bows are the Bows treated me well, and the thing about cooking, I think people everyone is probably a good chef if they try. I think the problem is they don't follow directions well. It's really about following directions to be a good chef. If you
I
follow
really
the
think
directions,
you get to know someone pretty well when you've eaten food that they make, because you get an idea of what their taste for salt is, and
yeah.
their like taste for spice and flavor. Because like I have some friends who are like they cook like. I cook, like my girlfriend thinks I'm a good cook, family members think I'm a good cook, but I know that I suck in comparison to like some people who really are in the game.
Yep.
And like there are some people like they're like, yeah, come over, have dinner, and you try some of their food and you're like, oh dude, you have like a health issue, like you can't taste, like you can't, that's not enough salt in this, or like there's
Yeah,
too
sometimes
much.
there's an issue and it makes a meal bad. Dude,
But in the end of the
too much
day,
salt
if someone makes you
is
something,
too much salt also is absolutely the worst.
but at least you know that all they have to learn is restraint, but not enough salt.
You can add some salt though. You can always add a little salt to make it a little better. It's not going to be as
Yeah.
good if it's like mixed in and everything, but
You can't reverse too much salt.
no.
Unless it's in like
There is something
soup
I
with
have.
a potato.
Yeah, you can put a potato in there and suck that in. But
Acid helps, lime. Like,
yeah, I just remember one time this dude I was living with made fried chicken,
Mhm.
and it was like extra salty. He put like the most salt I've ever had in whatever the breading or whatever he was like. Because man, the chicken was cooked so well. It was so crunchy on the outside. Had everything going for it, except the damn salt, man. Too salty.
Well, at least if you put too much salt in the breading with fried chicken, you can rip the breading off, and hopefully it didn't penetrate too much in the meat.
Yeah, but that fried chicken's done at that point.
Well, you lost the game, but
You
at least it's
lost the
salvageable.
game. You lost.
I think the older I get though, man, the more I'm just like, we have McDonald's at home. Like the more I'm like, let's cook instead of eat out or go out to a place, because it's like it's so expensive now.
Oh, it's
So expensive.
no, and that's the thing too is the our generation, millennials are just they want to eat out all the time. They want to get delivery, Uber Eats. They want, they don't want to cook anymore.
Don't get me wrong, I still Uber Eats more than I should, but it's like the older I get, the more like I don't do it as much as I did a year ago or 2 years ago.
Yeah,
Like,
if you really want to save money, you
Huh.
just don't ever go out to eat. You just have to cook for yourself. And that's a great way to save a bunch of money.
stupid amounts of money.
It's like less than half of whatever you're spending on takeout. It's like half that to cook for yourself. And in some cases though, it's like you're just tired. You've had a long day and you'd rather spend that money and not have to and get to have some time in exchange for that, not having to spend that time.
That's what money
cooking.
buys you, is time.
Yeah.
That's what it always gets you. And it is nice to know there's a way to bail yourself out. But I will say, when I'm having the most stressful day, and I really feel just like you get so beat down as an adult sometimes. You just always do. You have so many responsibilities. It's nice to start and finish something. Like you started making a meal with raw ingredients, and then you finished it, and you ate it.
Oh yeah,
It's
so
there's a
good.
sense of satisfaction.
Oh my god, if you
they
cook
can't replicate.
if you do a good job on a meal, especially when you don't cook a lot and you put the time in and you really you knocked it out of the park. You're eating that food, you're just like, hell yeah.
Just like I started with YouTube videos.
I
Like
win.
straight up, just copy a recipe that you like. I think a good one is there's a great YouTube channel called Adam Ragusia. Have you watched Adam Ragusia before?
I haven't, but go ahead.
Adam Ragusia is a professor of like media studies professor or whatever, likes to cook, and he started a YouTube channel just for fun that blew up like crazy over the pandemic. and he does these really cool like narrative driven like videos on cooking. And the first big recipe I learned, I think this is actually 2019, so it was pre-pandemic, was making a chicken parm recipe that he had that was so freaking good. It was like chicken parm where he put like Parmesan cheese in the crust in the breading, and like he taught you how to like do it. And that was one of the first recipes. I never really cooked on my own. One of the first things I tried. Another guy who's really good too is Internet Shaquille. Internet Shaquille O'Neal is so funny, and he's one of those guys where he doesn't teach you a recipe. He just teaches you like just clear skills on how to cook. Like he has a chickpea recipe that will teach you all about spices, herbs.
Internet Shaquille O'Neal?
That's what he calls himself. I think it's Internet Shaquille or Internet Shaquille O'Neal.
Okay, so it's not
Shaquille O'Neal.
And that's like not giving him any trouble. I feel like Shaquille O'Neal would be like, "Hey, you gotta cut that out. I'm Shaquille O'Neal. I have a very funny, deep voice."
I don't know. He's not popular enough for, I think, Shaquille O'Neal to care.
All right then.
Shaquille O'Neal's rich.
Is he?
Rich.
No, I know
rich.
he's very rich. He's a very.
I think
rich
he's
man.
one of the most. I think he's one of the wealthiest basketball players out there.
And it doesn't get him down knowing that some nobody's doing recipes online using his moniker.
Well, this guy's Internet Shaquille, so it's different.
Oh, it just changes the game. Okay.
It's Internet Shaquille. Even though Shaquille O'Neal was there before the internet. But no, he's really good. I think he's better than Adam Gruss. I think he's one of the best channels because I think a lot of cooking channels are like so hyped up, and like Food Network's so hyped up. Like it's funny, like all these unknown Food Network stars out there.
Yeah.
But it's like, this guy's cool because he's straight up like, what's in your pantry? You probably have beans. Let me show you how to do like 40 different things with one can of chickpeas. With what you got, and you could do this or that, or like he has one video dedicated to like how to wash your dishes. He's it's weird. He's like an adulting YouTube channel.
That's good. I always liked Joshua Wiseman.
Oh,
you know that guy?
I think he's the biggest food YouTuber.
He's pretty big. And then
it's a bit pretentious.
Sam, the cooking guy.
I've heard of him too. Is he the glasses?
He's kind of like the older guy, glasses.
That guy's food is crazy, man. He makes like stunt food. Like, would you eat half of that shit?
I would love to try it all. It all looks.
Joshua Wiseman, I do like. I would eat his food. But like this other guy's like stunt food, like straight up like.
Yeah, I've never heard that term.
Let's just take it's a term on the internet.
I like stunt food.
It's stunt. That's food.
Pretty good.
Like, cause he'll like what? He'll take like, I'm gonna take 4 Kobe beef steaks, and then I'm going to put a baby chicken in the middle, and then I'm gonna nut on it, and then you guys can eat it as a sandwich. Like that's
sure. I mean, that's what he does. That's his thing. That's cool though. It's like. He does make some like regular food too. I mean, there's stuff I don't know actually that I've ever really made anything exactly the way he's done it, but I have been inspired by some of the food that he cooks, and I've definitely made I've made stuff based on things.
What have you made?
I can't remember. I just remember like probably 2019 I found his channel. I was probably looking up a recipe.
Don't get me wrong, entertaining channel. Just because it's stunt food, I just wouldn't eat it. You know what I mean?
I knew. You know what? He was one of those channels that I remember when I saw it. I was like, oh, this guy's gonna blow up for sure. I knew. Yeah. I think he had around 300,000 subscribers when I followed him. I think he has millions now, but it was like one of those where I was like, oh, this guy's gonna do really well.
You know Skip Bayless?
Skip Bayless?
Yeah.
The former football player?
Was he a football player? He's a commentator.
Oh, the commentator. Yeah. No, I was thinking Shannon Sharp.
Shannon Sharp. Yeah. Well, Shannon Sharp. I love Unc. Oh my God. I love Shannon Sharp. But no.
Skip Bayless, something to do with food?
his brother. His brother is a something Bayless. I forgot his first name, but he has a YouTube channel and he's all about Mexican food and Spanish food. He's the whitest dude ever, and he's just like,
Well, so am
he has a
I.
whole channel dedicated to that. It's crazy.
So am I.
I just thought it's funny because I
love
hate
Mexican
Skip
food.
Bayless. I think he's such a jerk.
He is a big old tool. He sucks. He's a huge dick. I don't know if he really is.
I think he just stirs the pot. He's a heel.
He's a shit stir.
He's a heel, like like in like wrestling. He's just a heel. But he's a good heel because I hate him. I hate him in real life. He's such a
but
bad
he
heel.
really got under Shannon Sharp's skin.
Yeah, to the point where Shannon Sharp didn't need to be there. Unk did not need that show.
Yeah,
he moved on to another show with more ratings, and then he has his YouTube thing, which is amazing. You know, he does a YouTube channel with Ocho Cinco.
No, but that's cool.
Oh, him and Ocho are wild, dude.
What? And they just go full uncensored.
They go full, dude. Literally, freaking Unk's talking about licking women's feet. Freaking Ocho's talking about how he took Viagra before games. Like freaking Unk was like, so you I heard you.
It's a way to play harder, you know.
I heard you would take some Viagra before you play. And then Ocho was like, no, Unk, you gotta let me explain myself, Unk. I take a half of Viagra before I play, and a little bit of Red Bull, and it was for performance enhancement. Maybe it made me perform better. Unk is laughing. It is a very funny show. I could spend so much time talking about how much I waste an ungodly amount of time on YouTube.
So
crazy.
I
have YouTube Premium.
This is something I've recently cut out of my life in a big way. Is I remember when there was like a big game, like especially a football game. When there was like a big football game, like I would read about it. I'd be reading about the game that's gonna happen. I'd be looking at stuff, you know, getting the stats, what could happen, looking at predictions, getting all into it.
Like a gambler?
Yeah, but I never really got into that side of it. Not really anyway, but I was so into it. And then like I started just having less time in my life, and that was one of the things I cut. I was like, I do not need to watch stuff about the game before the game. I think I'm just going to watch the game and just enjoy the game rather than the build up. Like, man, before a Pats Super Bowl, you're just like reading everything, and you're just like, as a Pats fan, you're just be like, oh yeah, they're gonna win, they're gonna do this guy's gonna do this, Tom Brady's gonna, you know, throw a zillion touchdowns, and they're talking about how big the favorite.
And half of them don't play.
They don't play. They don't know what's going on. And if
they did play, they didn't play in the same class. Like, I don't like it on the basketball end of it, where, you know, you have people who've played the game, like Shaq and like Barkley, talk about the game, and they're so excited for the game, and they have all these things to say. And like, then you have people who've never played at all chiming in, and it's just like not interesting. And they're always like following the next hype train story. Like, they have these players, so they're going to be great. And it's just like, the game is so much more fun to watch. And like, I like good commentators who can like really add to it, because they know more about like the strategies that are in force. Because like in football, it's easier to see the strategies because there are plays, right? But basketball is a fluid game. It almost looks like these guys are making it up as they go, but they're like going through like multiple different plays and switches, and it's nice to have somebody who understands the coaching side who like breaks that down during the game.
Yeah.
But a lot of these commentators are not interesting. I did the same with video games. I stopped watching any promo for video games or like reviews or like people rating games, because it just ruins a game.
Yeah.
Like there's just always these like little micro communities that form around interesting things, and they always have something to say about it, and it almost detracts from like the main thing.
I think so with like I was always just looking. I would look at a game before it came out because I just was like, oh, this is a game. It's exciting. Whatever. Like, I'm gonna read about it. All this stuff, but I just never thought, oh, I don't have to do that. Like, I can just be intrigued by a game and then kind of go into it blind and have some fun with it. I didn't even know that angle. I never even thought of that angle. Like, that was a friend of mine was like, with the game Valheim, he was like, hey, there's this game, you're a Viking, you get dropped into this world, and you start from scratch. You have literally nothing, and you have to start picking up stones and wood, and then you make a hatchet, and then you just go from there. And I was like, oh, that's cool. And we just didn't know anything about the game. So, like, every little thing was like a new discovery. We had no idea what was going to happen next. And that's a really fun way to get into a game.
And I think it makes you, like, ultimately stick to the game longer. Like, right now, my current gaming obsession is Vampire Survivor. They have a co-op mode if you want to play. It's like a $5 game. But, like, it was huge months ago. Like,
no, I know. My
people were like, you got to play this. You got to play it. I heard about it, but I was like, whatever. And then, like, I was just going through stuff, and I was like, oh, it's on sale. It's like $3 right now. I'll give it a shot. Whatever. Instantly obsessed with it. Had a lot of fun. And I think when you, like, just kind of still having a lot of fun, I want to unlock all the characters. But, like, I feel like when you, like, get so, like, oh, this game, the hype train, I watch every video of it. It just tanks. Like, Cyberpunk was like that. I watched every little thing.
Yeah.
One game that wasn't like that was Baldur's Gate. Baldur's Gate met the hype that it was getting, but, like, there are so many games, like Starfield. I totally regret watching any reviews of Starfield. I watched all the trailers, and I was like, this is my jam. Bethesda, love that company, love Fallout, love Skyrim. This is Skyrim space. This is Fallout space.
Yep.
I like space. Let's do it. And I bought the game. Space. And then I watched reviewers, and reviewers were saying so many things, and they just kind of got in my head, and they're like, it's a boring game. And they're like, it takes 20 hours for you to get into the game. And I just dropped it. And I'll get back into it. Like, I'll play it, but, like, they get into your head, and it kind of, like, ruins the experience.
Yeah, you don't need someone else to tell you what to think.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't see the point of it. And that's the other thing with, like movies too. Like, if I want to see a movie, I don't want to watch the trailer.
The trailers are, like, giving everything away. I
just don't need to see it anymore. I used to love getting excited for a movie, watch the trailer, and then it's like, oh, you don't have to do that. You don't have to see the trailer. You can go into it totally blind. I remember, like, the Star Wars movies that came out in the past 10 years. I remember I watched the first trailer and I was like, oh, I shouldn't have done that. And then from then on, I never watched any more of the trailers because I was like, I'm going to see these anyway. I might as well just go in and have, like, no idea what's going to happen. So it does make for a more exciting thing.
Yeah. Ultimately, though, like, it's what, like, I see what those reviewers do. Like, there are some reviewers that are good about it. Like, I like Yahtzee. I forgot. I forgot what they call the show. Zero punctuation, because he doesn't show any video of the game itself, and he just always hates every game. So he is always giving, like, a shitty review. He's always like, "This game fucking sucks." But I don't know. You don't need critics to tell you whether or not you like something. Their input's nice. I like to read. You know who I appreciate? Critics when they're putting their energy towards stuff like tire reviews or, like, items. Like, I read the crap out of reviews and stuff for, like, stuff I buy.
Yeah.
Because I appreciate that, like, really ripping that apart, pros and cons. But when you rip apart entertainment for pros and cons, it's like, you know, it just ruins the point of it.
It might also be interesting if you like a particular reviewer and you trust their judgment, then it would be one thing. But if you just, like, go on Reddit, and you have to listen to a bunch of, you know, goofballs just rip apart something just because they can,
they have the time to.
It doesn't matter. Also, like, with big reviewers, I mean, I feel like they're getting paid to review things.
They get
And
pre-review copies and stuff.
You're not even getting a real, you're not even getting a true reaction. You're getting a money maybe behind this reaction.
Yeah, GamerX has a YouTube channel. They're called, and they do like the Before You Buy series on games. And I used to watch those, and that's where I stopped watching them. They're great videos. They're entertaining, but like they ultimately like do make the game empty to me, because this person is, they're good reviewers. They usually their comments are right, but it's like, I don't need to know all this. Let me make my own judgments. Let me have fun with it. Let me waste that time if I'm going to put that time into it. Like Cyberpunk. I enjoyed Cyberpunk. My PC could run Cyberpunk when it came out. I enjoyed Cyberpunk. I had a great time with it. And then like I watched all the reviews and everybody talking smack about it, and I was like, man, if I hadn't gotten this game on my own, played it, like, because I got it on release, like nobody knew it was going to happen until it happened, I would have thought this was the worst game in the world. I'd never play it, but I enjoyed every minute of it. Yeah, there were points where it was a little laggy and everything, but I had a good time.
Yeah. Just don't, it's tough nowadays with being inundated with everybody's thoughts to kind of make your own real decision.
Yeah.
There's so much influence on everybody's thoughts these days. Like
influences.
People aren't making their own decisions. There's a lot of group think happening.
Influenza. Okay, I'm gonna stop.
That's pretty good, man.
I'm a wordsmith.
Influenza. I'm a wordsmith.
Yeah. I don't know. I think people have talked about it to oblivion, that we kind of live in such a critic culture too. Like it's like a very anti thing.
People just don't shut up anymore. You got a bunch of idiots with podcasts.
Yeah.
That they're just talking, and
really,
you're just listening, and you're just like, why am I listening to this? I have better things to do.
But you don't.
I might as well live
I
might as well live vicariously through Keith and Mo.
you don't want this life. Can you handle this life?
Can you even handle my brain?
Shout out Jill. Love you, Jill.
Yeah, Jill.
But no, I think there's also some positives to it. We do live in an age right now where like information is just exposed, like people are kind of like unveiling things as we go. Like you can Google almost get like an answer to like, I like the fact, I think one of the coolest things about the internet right now and culturally is we're talking about how much people are getting paid more. We talk about how much, like Glassdoor, like if you're ever looking for a job, look up Glassdoor, tell you how much that job pays, what the salary range is going to be. Like there's this information, there's a ton of really cool information online, but it's also like, come on, don't ruin the basketball or football game with over analysis and like.
Oh, the worst. This is my worst. Like sports watching was like when I would watch a baseball game back in like the early 2000s, and those games, like just recently they changed baseball by introducing the pitch clock, which like shaved like a third off the game. Like they shaved an hour off of a 3-hour game just in the past year. And I have had no time to even watch one of those games. So I'm excited to see what that's like. But the thing is like I'd watch every Red Sox game back in the, early 2000s. And I was so into the Red Sox. I would like watch, there would be like an hour-long pregame show, and there would be like a 3 to 3.5 hour game, and there'd be like an hour wrap-up at the end of the game. And I might watch the whole thing. I might just watch 5.5 hours of just Red Sox, and there's 162 games. That's just how, like, I would just spend all my time doing that.
I never...
Insanity.
I could... first off, baseball I can't watch. I just can't watch it. It's so... I'm sorry. It's so boring. I can't watch it.
It's really boring to some people, for sure.
I'm sure, like, you probably say one of my hobbies is boring, one of the things but, like...
No, I don't think so. Well, I think everything you do, Mo, is astounding, and I want to live your life.
I will say, the coolest thing about baseball are baseball stories, because baseball's a dirty sport, man. It's like there's history of a lot of
they throw balls at people.
very dirty.
The
Have
pitcher
you
will
watched
just throw-
Screwball, the documentary?
Throw a ball at you. I have watched Screwball. Yeah.
Screwball is amazing, and then also there are little, I like to watch, there are little YouTube channels that are dedicated. Here's the part of sports journalism I like: when sports journalists talk about interesting stories within the sport, not like current games and stuff, and like, oh, Malice in the Palace. Like, let's talk about the big fight that happened at a Pacers game. Let's talk about like Michael Jordan's history. Let's talk, yada yada yada.
Sure.
There's these YouTube channels that will be like top 10 controversies in sports, and like half of the top 10 would be baseball. Like,
oh yeah, it's nuts. It's really crazy.
It's I don't know. That's a part of me that also Moneyball, made it seem like the game is super.
Well, it's changed so much, and as probably every single sport has just changed so much since sports became really popular in America.
Speaking of sports, have you heard of Gideon? Is it John Gideon or something? I forget his name. Giddy or whatever. He's an Australian basketball player. Plays for, I think he plays for OKC.
I have not. I'm not following basketball right now. I just know the
he got
Celtics are doing really well.
Trouble.
What did he get in trouble for?
This girl posted a Snapchat of him like shirtless, and her in the picture, and she was like, I just fucked Josh Gideon or whatever, and he's like 21, and some say she's 17, some say she's 16, some say she's 18.
Oh, I
and he's
did
in, like,
hear
a lot
about
of trouble
this
with
guy.
this.
Yeah, he met her at a nightclub.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and he thought she was 19. She was at a nightclub.
I didn't know there was more to that story. She's at a nightclub?
No, he met her at a nightclub.
But dude, that picture of her, she looks like she's 14.
I didn't see a picture of her.
Oh. She's like very young looking.
Okay. Well, I mean, I'm not going to defend him. I don't know what's going on.
You're not going to defend him.
I'm just saying, it's wild that he met this 14-year-old girl or whatever. How old? 17-year-old girl? Nobody knows the age.
Nobody knows the age. That's the thing. Like, nobody knows her age. The thing is, she looks really young. I think she even had braces. Like, she looks really young. And like, later on, some people who know her were saying that girl is like 17, 16. And then what's even more messed up is those photos were deleted. And they were photos that were caught on, I believe, Gideon's sister's, or Giddy, or whatever his name is, sister's Instagram or whatever.
Well,
so,
I mean, this guy's definitely broke the law. If she's underage, he broke the law. Is she also being deceptive? Probably.
Who knows? We don't know her side, but I will say this: the memes that are coming out about him are
they fire?
Delightful.
Are they?
You remember Carl Malone?
Yeah, he's a bad guy.
Carl Malone married, I think, a 13-year-old girl or something.
Yeah, and bad guy, I think.
A lot of people are comparing him to Carl Malone, and they're just like
putting him in the Malone zone.
Put him in the Malone zone. Yeah, the
he
comparisons.
probably deserves to be there. Gideon.
But I wonder if it's affecting his game. It has to.
He's still playing?
Yeah. He's still playing. Yeah, they're still playing him because they haven't gotten any confirmation, and he won't talk about it.
Sure.
But apparently, they haven't confirmed wrongdoing yet. So I think he played.
Well, best of luck to him, and
okay.
I hope justice is served. That's my take, and I'm firm in that take.
That's my story, and I'm gonna stick to it.
I want justice served.
I always believe in the victim. Okay, I think he should burn in hell. Get him. Pitchforks.
Wouldn't he be the victim in this case?
He's a man. Burn in hell.
Okay, yeah. There. I believe man should burn in hell.
Well, I don't think he's a victim. I think even if you meet a girl in a nightclub, she could still be There's some nightclubs that'll let you in if you're like. I think it's creepy for like 21, 22-year-old. I think it's creepy for a 21-year-old to be sleeping with anybody with a 1 in front of their age. Like I think that's
don't
weird.
think so.
There's a power dynamic between being able to go out and drink and still having to ask your mom to borrow a car. Like I just think like there's a power dynamic there.
No, for sure, but I think a 21-year-old can date an 18-year-old. Definitely.
I think it's creepy. Because then at one point,
They're,
he or she's going to ask you,
women are more
"Can you
mature
get
than
me some
men
beer?
anyway.
Can you get me some beer? Can you
Yeah.
get me some alcohol?"
Did
And
I
you're gonna be like,
did I
"Yeah."
date an 18-year-old when I was 21? Yes.
I'm judging you for it, man.
Well, you know what?
Did that last though? You might be able to speak to the quality of that relationship better than anybody else. Does that work?
It didn't work as a relationship. No.
Did she have the zoomies?
She was Zoom. Yeah, she had zoomies.
I had a joke about how I dated a girl. I was 25. She was 22. And I joked about how it didn't work because at night sometimes she would just get the zoomies and I just couldn't wrangle her back in bed. You know, I just had to like
No, it wasn't so much. That was just we weren't really. I think she was just too tall for me. I think that's really what it came down to. Just a bit too tall.
She was too tall.
She was too tall.
Keith.
I don't think she.
How tall was she?
You know, she told me, she goes, Keith, I'm not really into you for your looks. And I was like, nice.
What, dude, I'm sorry. Really? She said that?
Yeah, she did.
Why was she into you?
Because I'm hilarious.
Oh.
And I'm fun.
I think you're a good looking guy, man.
Oh, thanks, dude.
Yeah.
That's sick. That rules.
If my opinion matters. But
I never thought I was a great looking guy. I don't think I'm a freak, so I feel I'm comfortable with the way I look, but I don't think of myself as a good looking guy.
I think, it's not illegal and it's not as creepy being 21 and dating an 18-year-old versus being like 25 or like in your 30s dating an 18-year-old, or like 40s or older, but it's like it's still a power dynamic when you can buy alcohol. Like I still think it's weird. Like,
Well, what's funny? She asked me to buy alcohol, for sure. And
were you her alcohol connect?
Well, that was the thing too. Is like I was like, nah, like, and then I would never drink with her either. I was like a good. I was like, no.
You were a good mentor.
I was a pretty good mentor. I was like, all right, I know you're a freshman. I'm a senior. I'm going to try, I want to keep you on the straight and narrow. We're not doing that.
Would you say you were preparing her, grooming her to be a better person? Is that
you can't use the word grooming. No. This was pretty short-lived. But we remained friends actually for a long time, and I'm pretty much friends with her.
How is she now?
She's good. We actually ended up working together randomly at a job for like 6 months or something.
Oh.
But we were always cool. We were always cool afterwards. It was probably like a 2-month relationship. It wasn't very long.
Wow.
Just a college fling.
What can you do? And it makes sense if it happens in college too. Like I'd say, you're all together anyway.
Yeah. She was like downstairs, It's one of those things. She's like, oh yeah, it's just right there.
I just think it's I don't know, the whole Gideon thing. I think the most interesting part about his story is I feel like no one would care if he wasn't like ridiculously handsome. Yeah. And like I'm sure like a lot of like because basketball fans don't get as many white dudes who are really good at the game. Like there's like Luka Doncic, like, and obviously there's like Nikola, what is his name again? I forget his name. Dude, why can't I remember his name? They won the finals last year.
The Nuggets?
Yeah. I forgot the name of their player.
Yeah, no, I don't know.
Nicola something. He's really good. But like they don't get as many, but he's good too. Gideon's good. So it's like I bet like a lot of fans are like, fuck. Like,
there you go.
It's not a good white dude.
Don't do things that are illegal, folks. That's what we're all about. But
kill people, burn shit, fuck school.
no, but what's funny is I went from dating a 18-year-old at 21 to dating a 33-year-old at 23. So
You upgraded.
Yeah.
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 Well, Amy's a young-looking person, though. I'd peg her at
when I met her, she had braces.
like younger, like 18.
When I met her at 33, she had braces. She looked younger than me. It was insane. Yeah, pretty crazy.
She had grills. You got to call them grills at that point.
She had
when
grills,
you're that
man.
old, she
Yeah,
had grills.
Yeah, she had that going on. It was pretty.
I never needed braces as a kid.
Me either.
I always thought if I had them, I'm so irresponsible that I would totally I would not take care of them. I would not be responsible
I think
enough.
it's because you got a bigger head. I think people with big heads don't need braces as much.
I thought my teeth were the reason why I didn't need braces.
You have a bigger mouth, and so your teeth have more room to grow properly. And so,
little mouth people.
Yeah.
My brother had teeth removed because he had teeth growing behind his near his palate.
Yeah.
And everything. He had a second row of teeth.
I had a second row at one point. They
that was those suckers out.
They pulled them out as soon as I started getting my second row in, my shark teeth, as I called them. They pulled those puppies, man. That was scary. I just remember afterwards I got to rent a movie at the video store.
That's an apology.
My mom was like, "All right, let's go. We can go after you get your teeth pulled. You get to go to the video store and rent a video."
Dude, I miss those days. I had a Blockbusters membership, and we paid $20 a month. And for $20 a month, we could get one video game and one movie whenever we wanted.
As long as you return it?
As long as you return it.
So it's it was like Netflix.
It was like Netflix, but you had to go somewhere.
Sure.
But it was great because we'd get them. I think actually it was 2 movies and 1 game. And I would get the newest game every time. And it was a great way to save money because you didn't have to go buy games. And I could keep it for as long as I wanted.
That was nostalgia. I mean, the video store was the best.
It was awesome.
And the town I grew up in, there was Videoscope, and there was Chet's Video, and you were either a Videoscope or you were a Chet's Video family. And we went Chet's Video because it was like the guy Chet. He was there.
He's physically there.
He was physically there. You got to know Chet. He'd give you your popcorn. You got your movie came with a popcorn. You leave. You have your popcorn. Recommendations meant something. He wasn't being paid by the big Hollywood guys. He knew he was renting you a movie. It didn't matter. Didn't matter what you rented. He was just giving you the good stuff.
And I always loved it because the $20 a month, they were no late fees. That you keep it as long as you want. You can come back whenever. Dude, Blockbusters. Everyone talks about it. Everyone knows about this. Blockbusters could have bought Netflix. How cool would that have been if they bought Netflix and kept some of the physical stores?
I honestly don't think. I think Netflix. I don't know who knows what would have happened. I think
they probably would have shut down the stores still. But I miss that community.
Oh, it was the best. I met someone whose dad was a video store owner, so I knew Chet's son. I knew Chet Video's son.
Oh wow,
son, dad's video.
So close to the throne.
I knew, but I didn't know much of the behind the scenes. But this comedian, who her name is Caitlin Reese, very funny comedian in New York City. She was telling me how her dad had a video store and had all this cool memorabilia from the video store, and he had all these posters and all this weird stuff that you would never see anywhere, and she has some of it still, just old stuff flying around. So the video store was a pretty sweet thing. And then Netflix came out when it was just the DVDs, and I would do the DVDs. I was on Netflix. I've been a Netflix guy since 2007.
Jeez.
I mean, they got so much of my money, that's insane. But I remember when Netflix was brand new,
I think they
just
still do
had
that
DVD.
service.
No, they actually just ended it.
They just ended it
Recently, and they mailed all their DVDs out to people who are still. They just gave everyone a bunch of free DVDs.
Oh, you got free DVDs?
That, yeah. I heard that. I wasn't still a DVD renter when it just closed. But my point is, I was doing the Netflix, so you could do like 1, 2, 3, 3 at a time, and you just mail them back, and then once they got it back, they'd send your next thing in the queue. You know?
You know, one thing I don't like nowadays too is everything's too smooth. Everything works out all the time. Because when you had a Blockbuster's membership, you weren't 100% sure if that video was going to work when you got home or that video game was going to work. There'd be scratches sometimes on the back of the discs. Yeah. There'd be scratches on the discs. And I remember, like, I'd go back. I'm like, I want to watch Super Troopers. Nope, that disc is scratched up. Can't work. And then they had the machines out back to try to fix it.
Yeah, that was a thing. And I actually had something come up on my Facebook memories.
Ooh.
Which is probably the only cool part about Facebook now is the memories.
I think Marketplace is cool too, but that's what's keeping them afloat.
So I go in there, I see a memory, and it was like, this was from 12 years ago. And my buddy was like, hey, you got to watch this thing. And he's like, have you seen this? And I'm like, no, I haven't, but I saw this other thing, and you can watch it now if you go on to Netflix on Instant View. Because that was before Netflix was like a real just streaming service. You had Instant View. So you'd go on Netflix and you could stream some things. Not everything was streamable. And the other kicker was you only got 10 hours of Instant View per month. So you could only watch 10 hours of streaming. That was the deal. It was like,
do you have a Disney Plus and everything now?
No,
I
got rid of that. I don't. I just do. I try to keep it to one.
Oh, so you have Netflix?
Yeah.
Oh, dude, Prime is good. Have you watched The Boys?
I have Prime too.
But that works because you probably have Amazon Prime.
Yes. Yeah, I have the whole thing. I get all that. But yeah, I'll switch Netflix for like Hulu if there's something I want to watch. But I don't like having multiple at the same time because it's like, how much you can't watch all of it at the same time? How much?
My rule is if you haven't used it in a month, it should go.
Yeah.
That's why I got rid of Fanimation because that was one of the best anime streamers. But
yeah, there's definitely a lot of options, and then there's YouTube. Hopefully, you're watching this on YouTube.
Oh, I pay for YouTube Premium.
You did? They suckered you in?
No, because YouTube Premium comes with YouTube Music. So and I could
all
listen
the way with YouTube Music.
And YouTube Music is ad free if you have it. So, and then no ads on YouTube works because that's what I watch the most of. So I don't have to suffer through ads.
Yeah.
And I watch it on TV, so you can't use an ad blocker like you can on your computer.
Right.
So it works better.
Yeah. Yeah, I've thought about it, but I'm like, really?
It's only $10 a month, dude.
I know, but
no ads.
I don't mind 10. I can handle 10 seconds.
I can't. I value my time.
But also, yeah.
Also, I don't like longer videos too. Like if you watch an hour, 2 hour video, because I watch like JCS, like those like murder mystery ones, and those can have like 4 or 5 ads, like spaced out in 15-minute increments or so.
It's just, as long as it's not a 2-minute long ad, I'm good. And I'm pretty happy.
As people maybe watch this and watch an ad.
There's no way YouTube is not pushing ads out on this. There's no way.
Oh, man.
Maybe they are now if you're watching this in 2026, but probably not in 2023.
If I'm alive in 2026, guys, we did good,
We did. This has been Mo Keith time.
I love you.